Is it on?
What? You got some old pictures here. I don't think so.
My memory's not too good.
Can't hear you.
My memory's not too good, but I wanted to share a couple kind of personal stories. Well, first of all, no family in this country or any other ever celebrated Christmas like our mother and dad. I have never read or watched a movie or seen anything that ever compared to real life at 325 Barton. And you know, that was a great memory, and I'll always cherish that. This Christmas we were watching some old, well, you all know, we were watching the old movies, and that was just a gas watching those, and how many of those pictures seemed so familiar. But a couple of things that happened to me that were not really funny at the time, but they're funny to me today. One was I got to enjoy the downstairs bedroom for a number of years, and before I left the house, and that was a pretty you know, it was on the first story, and I ventured out at night a couple of times, and was able to just go out my window. And but the memorable night was the night that I came in, and I came in the window, and there was Dad sitting on the bed. I don't do that anymore. Another one was a friend of mine brought me a switchblade knife back from Mexico, and I had somehow broken the case on it, and I took it to wood shop. Now today that wouldn't fly. You don't take knives to wood shop. They're in school property. But I took this knife, and the shop teacher helped me make a little walnut case for it. And I took it home and showed Dad. I was very proud of it. And, well, he took it away from me. And I think that was probably a good idea. But on my 40th birthday, he gave it back to me.
I think I know the story.
Dad has a special talent of leading funeral processions, in case some of you didn't know it. There was a funeral of Tom Walsh's that we went to a few years ago, and up in northern Indiana. Was that in, what city was that?
Merrillville.
In Merrillville. And I think we were about the 5th car back. Dad was driving and Mom was in there, and the Burketts and I were all in Dad's car, and there was really heavy traffic coming out of the church, and the police didn't do a very good job of stopping the traffic that was trying to get out of the church and stay together, and there were a lot of stoplights right once we pulled onto some busy streets. So we got pretty much immediately separated from the rest of the group, and there were probably about, what would you say, 20 or 25 cars following us, and Dad led them into a shopping center parking lot, and we all were just stranded there, and we were really laughing.
All right, I have something to say. I don't know how well it will go over, but in Dad's talk, he was telling about some of the things that he did for the kids that made it fun. And he talked about making the ice skating rink, and I think that's something that we all could remember with our families and our kids, is how much he put into making our lives fun and exciting. And I don't think a lot of parents do that anymore. And it's something we need to remember and appreciate and kind of use in our own lives, and use him as an example for that.
Well, there's Johnny.
Well, just to kind of echo what Joe's saying, Dad always had things that were extra creative and exciting and so forth. And you know, he passed on his creativity. When I was in Boy Scouts and I was, I can't remember what I was trying to get, but Dad helped out sometimes with the Scouts, and I had to have a 5-mile hike. And you know, a lot of kids went on these real exciting 5-mile hikes through woods and over different terrain and whatnot. Dad had like marked out 5 miles on a highway, and we walked 2.5 miles around the back. I learned a lot about highways. And he was talking about all the highways and whether there was bad asphalt or what. But that was my experience in my 5-mile hike. Thanks, Dad, for helping me get that right back.
I have a couple things. One of them was when I was 5, and Dad, I don't know if he just always came home, I guess he always came home for lunch, so then he'd take me on to kindergarten, and he dropped me off, and we had a new car, and somehow my finger got shut in the door, and he was concerned with all the cars dropping off, and he started driving away, and I was pounding on the door because my finger was stuck in the door. But it was Halloween, and we had a parade, and as soon as he stopped, it was just, you know, pretty badly broken, but I said, let's just put a Band-Aid on it. But another thing I think about is how well he remembered chemistry and math even when I was in high school and knew it so well. And he would quiz me, and then he'd say, I think you need to just go back and study some more because I wasn't very well prepared. But he did always make things fun, and my kids have watched some of those home movies. We borrowed that tape, and they were commenting on how much fun it looked like we were always having. And it was always very fun.
For words. So I'm hoping I can do this tonight and not embarrass him and his godchild and him. And I wrote in his card tonight, and I really wanted to say this, that it's kind of amazing to me to think that I have been his godchild for 60 of his 80 years, which is really kind of amazing when you stop and look at it that way. I thought I've probably known him the longest here of almost everybody because he was my godfather way back. And I thought how young you had to be, that you'd hardly even gotten out of high school and you were there being my godfather. But that was a good choice, and I've always appreciated it. I have to tell you 2 little stories about your dad. One, that he and I got to go to the lake for the Walsh and Kelly meetings together on quite a few occasions after my dad died. And we had a great time, and this is probably why he thinks I am never at a loss for words, because I think I talked or he talked. He actually talked a lot, all the way up and back. We got lost only once, but the highlight of all of it was just getting to know him after so many years that we were always too busy to actually sit and talk, and I had a captive audience. But he took me to eat at Hardee's in Delphi, I think it was, and I think it was Katie that said something, either Katie or Ann later said to me, so how have your drives been up there to the lake with Dad? And I said, well, he took me to eat. And they went, he took you to eat? And I said, yes. And they went, like he got out of the car and went in to eat with you at a restaurant? And I said, yes. And I want you to know he never took me again, so I think the word got back to him. We went through drive-thrus from then on. But the other story is connected with the great gift that he gave to Chances, where I used to work, which is an agency that works with kids. And he casually came up to me in church when one of our grandchildren was being baptized and said, I think I've decided I need to give you the office for Chances, because that seems to me like a good thing to do. Needless to say, I sat there blank through the whole baptism. I remember nothing about it except just sitting there amazed at the scope of that kind of a gift and what it meant to me. And when it came time later to do the dedication and have Father Moran come out and bless it and all that, I called and said I wanted your mom and dad to be there as the guest of honor, and we were going to have a ribbon cutting, which Charlie Imony did, and I don't know where he went here, and we were going to have all of our contractors and kids and people there, and he said, I'd just soon you'd do mine on a different day and not have CNN there. So anyway, that's your dad, who's done everything for all of us all these years and didn't want any credit, especially on CNN. So thank you both for
I know there's some really dishes that he really has kept in his memory as some of his favorites, and one of those was within the first month of us being married, I invited them over for dinner, and I knew that spaghetti was a popular meal at their house, and my mom had a recipe that's layered spaghetti, and I thought, well, I don't want to try to make pat spaghetti, so I'll make layered spaghetti, and surely they would like that. So I cooked dinner, and they came over, and I don't remember, Carolyn and Joe and Katie were all still home, but somebody was gone, so it seems like maybe only 2 of them were there, but we sat down to eat, and I was obviously nervous, the first meal I cooked for them since we had been married, and everybody was filling their plates, and I realized that Tom didn't have any spaghetti on his plate, and I said, Tom, don't you want some spaghetti? And he said, well, if you have some peanut butter, I think I'd just like a sandwich. I subsequently found out that he didn't think he would care for all the cheese that was involved in this particular dish. So we haven't had that dish again since I've been inviting them over for dinner. Another time, I'm not sure exactly what hit me, but I got into the recipe book and apparently decided to try everything new for that dinner. And one of the things was peanut butter soup. And I knew he liked peanut butter, so I guess I was thinking, well, I'll show him. But he still reminds me or asks if we're going to have peanut butter soup. So I was kind of disappointed that neither of those items were on our menu tonight, but I guess since he was getting to make those choices, he opted out of those 2 things. I have had a wonderful Danny and I will be married 22 years this year, and it's been a wonderful 22 plus years, and I've always felt very loved by this family.
Grade, so 8 years old. My winter boots, whenever I took them off, the lining would come out with my foot. So my dad would always fix the lining by putting his hand in and fixing the lining in my boot. Well, one morning we were getting ready for school and I just kept stomping my foot in and I could not get the lining fixed. So I brought my boot upstairs. It had been in the basement, and I said, Dad, could you fix the lining in my boot for me? And he stuck his hand to straighten out the lining and he got bit. And he said, oh! Pulled his hand out and turned the boot upside down and whacked it, and a rat, huge rat, came out of my boot and ran out in the yard. And that was that. I think Dad had to get tetanus shots or something from it, but we had a little bit of a mouse rat problem that way.
Thank you.
Toast to both Mom and Dad. With a glass of water, if you don't mind, to 2 of the greatest people in the world, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I love you both very much, and I wish you, Dad, another 80.
Here, here.
I think with all the little kids and John and Jane thinking they might want to drive back to Indianapolis, we probably ought to close for the evening, and I sure appreciate all of you being here. I've had a really good time.